Hey guys, it's Jen. We are back to, let me start this again. Back to videos, doing some refresh. This one I'm cutting stuff for my Yeti cup. Oops, that got peeled up there. So I'm cutting the words. Gonna redo the Yeti video, how to put vinyl on that. This is a non-zigged mat, and I can't stand it, but I just grabbed it out of the 250 box. All those Costco 250s, man, that is one smoking deal. If you can get that deal, I highly suggest it. But this, we're going to put vinyl on this cup. I do not use any of the wrap effects, any of that stuff any longer. I just use heat to apply it. So we will see all that as soon as this is done cutting. This is outdoor glitter vinyl. This stuff is the encapsulated. Trying to roll that back under there. But this is encapsulated glitter. So it's kind of like the glitter over HTV. It's really cool stuff. But my speed is always a 1. My pressure is a -1. And my blade depth is set according to, I do mine according to looking at the blade to where it is just poking out. For the members, I actually have images of what the blade looks like, okay? So that can be found in the files section on the group page. Alright, so I'm going to wait for this to finish, then I'm going to go weed it. Okay, so I have all this stuff. I have, oops, this little part weeded. I have to go through and weed all of this stuff, and I'm not going to make you sit around and watch that. Alright, all of you that know how to do it, fine. Those of you that don't, what weeding is it is the removal of the junk that you don't want inside of your design that you do want. When you weed, I always recommend that you pull almost directly back onto your design. So let me grab this big hunk right here. Pull it up here so you can actually see what I'm doing. I pull it directly back onto itself. When you do that, that generally helps things stick down where they're supposed to. Alright, it tends to not lift up the good stuff that you want to keep. And when you have your settings dialed in, which this, I told you, was just a speed of 1, pressure -1, which that's the settings that I always start with. Unless I know it's intricate and fine, then I'll take that pressure down to start with. But a speed of 1, pressure of -1, and a blade depth, I look at it, I never look at the numbers. Those of you that attend my classes understand that that is the God's honest truth. So I set mine to where the blade is just poking out. And I start there. For those of you that need to, do a test cut, and that'll tell you if it's going to work. Don't ever eject your mat until you see that it is a complete successful cut by taking your pick and doing this. Let me show you on the next piece. Take your pick, and along the outside, you don't want to go weeding in here because if you need to recut it, the machine might catch that. So when it says it's finished cutting, before you eject your mat, come up here and pull around the edge. If that looks like a nice clean cut and you don't have to pull and it doesn't stretch, so if it looks like this, hey, you're good to go. Go ahead and eject it. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start pulling this directly back onto itself. Careful, don't let the vinyl grab something it's not supposed to, because that's a huge mess in itself too. Oh my God, ask me how I know that. Because I've done it. Alright, so me pausing this turned into a lesson in weeding and pressure, speed, and blade depth. Okay, so you see how easy this comes off when you have your settings right. Now you don't have that blade depth just right, and it's not set quite deep enough, and you'll notice it'll start stretching in some spots. Maybe it cut correctly down here in this corner, but over here it's terrible. Take that blade depth slightly deeper. Don't ever adjust that pressure. Don't start messing with that pressure. The only time you adjust that pressure is if you see it's ripping and tearing and pulling and making a mess out of your design, okay? That's when you'll adjust your pressure and you go down with it. I don't ever take my pressure up, ever. The only time I will adjust my pressure is when I change my blade and I use the deep cut blade, okay? Alright, so there, we're all weeded and you didn't get a pause. Oh, sorry. Okay, so that's all weeded, this is all weeded. Now we got this hot mess here. Let's find out where this is. And yes, you can use weeding boxes if you want. I don't, because I like to come in here and get really close and go right around my design. And yes, you can use shadow effect and scal to create yourself a weeding box that looks exactly like that. I just prefer to use this. But there are videos that'll show you how to do that too, okay? All you do is search weeding and those will come up. Okay? So there's that one. Oops, I see some spots inside. Search weeding and that will pop right up all the different types of weeding that you can do. And there's reverse weeding, all that good stuff. I personally would love an auto weeder because this is one of my least favorite things to do. Weeding. Nicola loves it. I can't stand it. Takes too long. And you got 5,000 other things you got to do. Sitting here doing this stuff? Nope. Drives me crazy. Okay. So I will finish this and I will come back and we'll get into the good stuff of actually placing it. And as you see, I have not used any of the wrapper effect, nothing like that, because I want to show you how easy it is by just using a little bit of heat. Because what I found is when you use the wrapper effects, things like that, you actually change how your design looks. And to me, that wasn't okay anymore. Alright, so I will be right back. Okay, so now, people always say, how do you layer? How do you do the layering? Okay, well, if you don't trim it out, and that's fine, okay, because this stuff is nothing special. But normally I do trim my stuff out. However, I don't have a lot of time, so I thought, you know what, I'm going to do a video when I don't trim stuff out. Oh my god, say it ain't so. Yep. So what I do to line my stuff up, and you've seen this in all the other videos, is I use my gridded mat here. Alright, so my bottom piece gets a little bit of tape, and then I'm going to stick it down right here. Make sure that flat part, the straight part, is straight right along here. Okay, so that's nice and straight. I'm going to take my low-tack see-through transfer tape. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to pick this piece up. Okay, get all this other crap out of the way. Take my little squeegee here, and this is the pink hard one that I sell. And then I'm just going to pick it up like that. Okay. My god, now everything's stuck to that. Okay. Then I'm going to bring it up here and I'm going to start to lay it. If you're worried about stuff sticking, use the back of the transfer tape to cover what you're worried about. Okay. So let's bring it up here. And then start with that part. So now that part's down, come up, flick that paper off of there. Don't let it just fall down. There we go. Okay, so here is my first layer. Good Lord. Make sure eyes kind of go wonky. So now I'm going to set that right on here. Okay. When you get your cup out, okay, it's going to roll all over the place. Some people sell stuff to hold it. Well, I'm a little on the cheap side, so I use a towel. Or better yet, you can grab a piece of fabric, if you do fabric, and just roll the edges like I have them rolled here, then leave the middle flat. And that will allow you to then lay your cup just like that. Okay? Now you will want to clean the entire little thing with alcohol. That is a definite need. Okay? Now I'm going to clean the entire thing, and then from now on I'm only going to hold on to this part down here and then around the top. So go ahead, clean your entire thing top to bottom with alcohol. Now what that does is that removes any oils and any whatevers from the store, from the manufacturer, from, you know, you just kind of picking it up, moving it around, all that stuff, because the oils do affect the adhesion of the vinyl. Okay? This poor cup has been many miles with me. Okay. So let me figure out where I'm going to stick that at. Alright. Get rid of that. Let it dry. And I know I want this little guy down at the bottom. And it looks like it's still wet. Nope. Can you see what I'm doing? Yes. So I'm going to lay this, and what I do is I start in the middle. And I am actually pulling as hard as I can down on this transfer tape. Now I take my yellow squeegee because the yellow one is nice and bendy. Grabbing the top part, the clear the lid, holding on to just the lid. Now I'm going to come in here, starting at the middle and then working my way out. And that will help with the bubbles. And I lined up the bottom of my word with the line of this cup right here. Okay? And I don't remember what kind of vinyl this is. I do know it's listed as outdoor. So hopefully it sticks well, but I don't know. I also know it's about 10 years old. So hopefully it sticks, but I wouldn't hold my breath. You only want to ever use outdoor vinyl on your cups. Oh yeah, it's sticking just perfectly. Okay, there is one little spot here, and that's the spot I stuck my finger on. If that starts to come off, I'll just cut it off with scissors. Okay, so go through and keep squishing, smoothing. Okay, so that looks good. Alright, so now I want to do my big one right here. Okay, so I'm going to go about it doing the same exact thing. Don't touch your cup. Let's put this guy down here. Now, where's the straight part? Well, that's right there. So I'm going to put the straight part against the line on my grid. Pull the tape off of here. Stick that right there. Or close. I'll stick that right there so it's nice and even. And what the tape does is it holds it around, holds it down, doesn't let it fall and flop around. Okay? And I take my transfer tape, pick up this little guy. Slowly peel it away because you don't want to rip it. There we go. Oh, it's wanting to stick to me. Then I'm going to bring it up here and I'm going to position it. Okay, so I'm starting up here at the top. Still have this up in the air. And I'm going to let my squeegee do all the work. There we go. The key thing with doing this too is start in one spot and work your way across. Don't slap it all down and then try to deal with the bubbles and the wrinkles. Oh my gosh, that will drive you batty. Okay? So like with this one, I started right here and I worked my way over. With the other one, I started at the top and worked my way down. Okay? I guess it would help if I did this a little bit, huh? Okay. If it doesn't want to let go, just keep working. Working to get it off of here. There we go. Sometimes it takes some gentle coaxing. Because it really wants to be friend with your cup. Friends, I should say. Okay, let me move my little piece of tape there. Let's move this little guy back. Remember, don't touch it. Okay. So now I would probably need to stand up to do this so I can make sure it's straight. I'm going to position it with this down here and also with the top of the cup. Now with this one, let's see. That looks about even. I'm going to rock it to this side. And then pull really hard again and place it onto that side, okay? So when I say pull, I'm actually pulling as hard as I can as I press it down, alright? And this one I started here and went to this side, then I came and went to this side. Now I'm working all the bubbles out. For those of you that go to my classes, you know how I like such odd and unique things, like my shoes. This kind of fits along the lines of my shoes. There. Okay. Alright, so now let's flip this over. And let's try this one. Again, tape, the straight part is at the top, so let's put the straight part up here. Yep, you can still see the straight part up here at the top. And that will hold it straight. If you need more tape, don't be afraid. Tape the tar out of it if you need to. Okay, I'm just going to slap that down there. Try to keep your transfer tape free of wrinkles as it's on your project here, okay? But this transfer tape that I have is so forgiving. I absolutely love it. I cannot live without it. Because it's just awesome. Okay, so let me put this up here. Okay, I'm going to work from this side over. And from the top down. Okay. There we go. Get rid of the tape. Flip it over. Squeegee. Needs some gentle coaxing. Oops. Get my fat little fingers out of the way. There we go. Now hopefully I can use heat with this. This is kind of a bummer because this is laying down so well that I haven't had to use heat yet. So this is kind of, but this is just actually how easy it is to put this on here. Okay, so I'm really pulling and really pulling, and then stretching, and then removing the transfer tape, and taking this and putting this here. Okay, so as I check for bubbles, there's actually very minimal bubbles. Okay, so there we go. There's my cup. But I need to show you about heat. Okay? Because what heat does is actually really wonderful. When you get, normally when you try to put words and stuff onto a glass or something like this, and especially if you come to this area. Now I did have another video, but those that watched it totally misconstrued the point. The point was seeing how much heat would actually shrink, like when you got to this area, and it is significant. Now, don't get me wrong, you put too much heat on there, you melt the crap out of it, and then it kind of ruins it. But a little bit of heat will actually help mold, and sometimes helps relax it enough. Also, if the right amount of heat will actually draw it up, okay? So, you just have to kind of work with the heat. Let me see if I can show you. Okay, goody. So I just have some things stuck there. They are not stuck down. You can see they're just floating. And I put a boo-boo on there so that we could figure out how to fix that. Okay, so I'm taking my little embossing tool and I'm just going to show you what it'll do. So I'm just kind of hitting that. Oh, you see it's starting to suck itself down already. Look at that. So that pretty much placed itself on my glass. Okay? I didn't touch it at all. It just sucked itself right on down there all by itself. So then I take my finger and go over that. Make sure this is, let's see, let's try to zoom this in a little bit so you guys can see a little better. There we go. Now I'm going to switch over here to this heart. It's attached right here in the corner, and that's it. So let's just start hitting this with some heat. Ooh, look at, oh yeah. Yep, oh. So let's see what all we can get this bad boy to do. Wow, look at that. Okay, so I can take my, I'll blow that off because I know that this vinyl is going to be really soft. And look, I'm just going to touch it. I touch it and that vinyl does whatever I want. I can touch in some bubbles if I want to touch in some bubbles. Or I'm just going to barely touch and move. Actually, I'm going to grab my soft one. Start from the inside and move out. And that will bring all the bubbles out, okay? Look at that. That heat laid that heart for me, okay? Now, this little guy, oh my God, how many times have you done that? Holy cow. Well, what I do to fix that, if that ever happens, is we're going to come up here and we're going to see, we need to really work this carefully, because if we don't, we are going to stretch this vinyl, okay? And we really don't want to stretch the vinyl. Okay, mind you, this right here is hot because I just nuked the tar out of it. Okay, but what I suggest you do is you want to get in here and you want to roll this up. Okay, so try to roll it up without stretching it. There you go. Okay, so roll it, keep it lifted so it does not, see, it wants to keep going back down. It's almost like it develops a memory, so you need to break that memory and put it down yourself. Okay, oh, we've got some air bubbles in there. Well, let's take the heat. Let me make sure you can still see this. Yep, you can. And let's put some heat to it. pop those bubbles right on out of there. Okay, there most of them go. Okay. What I need to do is fix the little point of my tweezers went in there and created an air bubble for me. So there, I just got them all out. Okay. So no more air bubbles in any of these. And that's just by using heat. Okay. Oh, yep, there's a little air bubble there. And with this soft squeegee, I can press as hard as I want. Okay, and it's not going to destroy my vinyl. Okay. Alright guys. So that is how you, 1, place vinyl on a Yeti, 2, use heat. Heat is your friend. Understand though, if you leave that heat on there for too long, it is going to bake it. It will curl it. Let me see if I can actually do it, because I don't care about these. I'm taking them off. Let me see if I can get it to do it. It will curl it, wrinkle it, ruin it, melt it. Man, this stuff must be made out of Teflon. Normally it curls very quickly. This stuff is good. Okay, there, you see how it melts, but normally it'll do that in like seconds. It'll get that melty look. It must be some good vinyl. I need to remember where I got it from. Okay. Alright guys, if you have any questions at all, you can come and find me over at ScanNCut, Canvas, and Scal Help on Facebook. Alright guys, have a good day. Oh, and real quick, this stuff is hand wash only, no dishwasher, lukewarm water, no scrubbing, so I wouldn't take this and scrub with hot water, just lukewarm. Try to just, you know, wash like the inside only, not so much scrubbing the outside. You know, really, what are you doing with your cups that you get them so daggone dirty that you got to clean them like that, okay? So just take good care of them. Alright guys, have a good day.